conversation with someone who has not only shaped Soul Shine visually, but has become such a trusted part of my journey. Today I'm sitting down with Beckie Boyd, owner of Forever Snapshots, a photographer whose work has changed how people see my studio, how they connect with my classes, and honestly, how they connect with me. We're talking about her story, her creative process, the business side of photography, and what it really takes to show up visually as a small business owner. And I'm so excited for you to hear this one. So Beckie, I want you to share with us how Forever Snapshots came to be. And I know you've told me bits and pieces over the years that we've known each other, but share your story with us today. How did photography become your thing?
Hello, Ashley, and hello, Tribe. I'm so happy to be here today and, like you said, pull back the curtain and talk about all things business and, being a business owner. So, Forever Snapshots, LLC came to be back in 2017. I got a very cheap kit lens and camera body from Best Buy. And now we're almost 1,000 followers, and my books are full.
Yes.
So, this is something that started as, just me and my siblings and my friends. We would just get dressed up, what was really cute, and, we were 13, 14 years old thinking that we were just rock star models. So, we'd go travel to little parks and stuff that we thought was photogenic, and we just go out and have a blast. So what started back then and now, like I said, my clients are wonderful and my books are full. I couldn't be more thankful for the growth that I've had over these last few years and really learning about myself and my craft. So I'm just excited to be here and to talk to all of you. But let's get into it.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I love how powerful your beginning was with how you said, this just started out with a cheap camera and my family and friends at a park.
Yeah.
So how cool is that just something you've known at such a young age, like this is something within you that you wanted to do. So and here you are years later, doing the work that so many of us need, especially to market our business.
Absolutely.
So one thing I've noticed with working with you is how different business photography feels compared to personal sessions. So I've had the opportunity to have both with you. And what's your approach when you're shooting for a business versus family, weddings, stuff like that?
Sure. So when shooting a personal session, whether it's couples, whether it's a kid's first birthday, just milestone photos, I really take a step back because I want to put myself in their shoes. As a client, what do they hope to expect from these first birthday milestones, these engagement milestones, or just, a couple that's been together for a handful of years? We want to create emotion. We want to create authenticity, just genuine interactions between your subjects, not just smile, stand, pose, that's it. And so I put myself in their shoes of let's do genuine poses, genuine reactions to different things, and just some fun props to get people smiling. So now on the flip side, business photography, not only are we wanting to share the business owner's personality, but the message trying to get across to potential clients or customers for the business. This is something where we have to create environment for professionalism, but also personability. So taking that education of sitting down with the business owner, what do you want to express to the people who view these pictures? Is it something that you're fun and, you're a boutique owner, come look cute and feel cute with us? Or is it an attorney where you want professionalism and, maybe a more serious atmosphere? My background's in advertising and marketing, so an opportunity to tailor the messaging of my photos is how we can kind of differentiate the feeling. But I don't specialize in just one thing, and that may be setting myself apart from other photographers in the area. But whether it's a business, a birthday, a retirement party, I'm just excited to be there. So I'm just excited to be a very small part of a really big milestone in someone's life. So I'm just thankful for all of my clients, whether it's business or personal. It's just really exciting to be a part of that.
Well, I have had the opportunity, like I said, to have both private and professional photo shoots with you, and you will go above and beyond to get the perfect picture.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter if it's my son's senior pictures, or you're trying to get that gorgeous grin from our grandson. Like, you will do whatever it takes to get them laughing or to capture the perfect picture. But on the flip side, you did the same thing when it came to my professional photo shoot with Soulshine. And honestly, your photos have changed how people see Soulshine. So with that being said, I know at first, I was using things like my phone. So what do you think professional photos do for businesses that phones can't? And even like with family pictures, because
Sure.
there's a huge difference in the two. So can you explain that a little more?
Yeah, absolutely. So first and foremost, when it comes to me being in a river with a couple, getting some maybe pregnancy photos, maternity photos, I tell them I don't care if I make it out of this river as long as my camera is dry. I will go shoulders deep into the river to get the perfect shot. So, and not everybody does that, but I take pride in that because I can envision the image in my head, and I know that the clients can too, or some version of it. But like I said, I'll go above and beyond. I don't care if I have to dance around like a crazy person to get a little baby to smile. I don't care, as long as the clients are having fun. I don't care. So, and when it comes to professional photos versus phone, I really appreciate you bringing up that idea, because it's something that us photographers face daily. Money is tight for everybody right now, so, and may not see the value in paying a certain amount for photos. And maybe it's just an hour-long photo session, but these are photos that you can treasure for the rest of your life. Whether it's a wedding and you can't recreate that, there's no way to, and nobody would want to either. So you just want those genuine, authentic moments to happen right in front of you. So when it comes to photography on phones, yes, technology advances every single day. We see the new iPhone being released. And yes, the photos taken and the cameras on those phones are great, but with a photography business and service, you can take yourself that much further. The quality of the images, the bokeh or the blurring of the background is different than iPhones, and it seems more authentic also. So, we as photographers understand that money's tight, and so maybe just having your phone and whipping it out, and it's easy, it's convenient, but really taking that step further with scheduling a professional photography session for your business can really give credibility and personality to your photos. It's somebody who has years and years of experience of posing and lighting fixtures and, editing and software maintenance and all the things. So just take yourself that much further.
Well, I'm really glad that you mentioned that, because I really struggled with how to market my business when I first started, trying to show up on social media and things like that. I really struggled. I was trying my best, but I had no idea what I was doing. So, firsthand, the photos that you took for me and Soulshine, it completely changed things, because I got my start on Canva, and I still use Canva,
Yep, I
but
do too.
everything was stock photos from Canva. So the moment I started using real images and putting my face on my brand, everything started happening, and it felt like it was overnight, literally. So it felt like me and my work, and I was putting myself out there in a different way for the first time, and it was awesome. It really changed the game for me.
Yep.
So so just kind of give us, on a marketing standpoint, how this is so different.
Right. So, I mean, being in the limelight is not easy for many of us. You know, we're a little bit self-conscious. We're a little bit scared. You know, I am the first to admit I'm more comfortable behind the camera than I am in front of. You know, so that's where I'm most confident. So I understand what my clients are feeling, you know, in front of the camera because I experience it all the time. So just, again, putting yourself in their shoes is the best way to, you know, understand your client. So when it comes to booking sessions or things like that, taking that step back to realize you're just a small part of something much bigger than yourself. And that's something I've craved for so long. I didn't know what God put me on this earth to do. So I really tailored, you know, my services to do that. And one of those ways is payment plans. You know, whether it's weddings, you know, weddings can be expensive, whether it's the venue, the food, you know, the vendors themselves, it's expensive. And so offering payment plans for even mini sessions, take your time, you know, I can bi-weekly, daily, monthly, whatever the case may be. I think that's something that can set myself apart from other photographers. So, you know, in challenges that, you know, you can face is something that is time management and also financial stress. You're trying to keep up with the times and, you know, have equipment that is up to date and not, you know, old as dirt. So, and just having opportunities to expand your craft is something that we look for every single day.
Yeah.
So,
I tell people all the time about you and your work, and every time I get compliments on my pictures, I'm like, Beckie boy, forever Snapshots. So I'm always excited to share the times that we work together and just share who you are. But what was it like on your end watching Soul shine through the lens? Like,
Sure.
and watching, because you've known me for years, you've been with me since the start. Like, how is it on your end seeing that growth?
oh my gosh, it's been a blast because I am a huge fan of yours and I'm a huge fan of Soul Shine. Guys, I've known Ashley for several years. She's a close family friend of ours, but not only, you know, seeing your growth because there's nobody around here like you. You know, there's nobody around here like Soul Shine. So we had sat down and talked about the possibility of taking, you know, your branding photos. And I think it was just a perfect storm of location, you know, your props, and also just being together. I think we created something that was really unique because it's not standing in a field and smiling. You know, it went above and beyond to represent who you are as a business owner, who you are as a yoga instructor, Pilates instructor, nutrition support specialist. You wear so many hats just as much as I do. And I can put myself in your shoes too as a fellow business owner. You wear a lot of hats. So let's, you know, take advantage of that and show your clients all the different things that you do. So, and obviously there's a lot that I do too as a photographer. Many people might not know, but we're also, you know, administrative assistants. We're CEOs. We're camera operators. And we're meteorologists. So, you know, that's something we face, you know, week by week, session by session. You know, we want, for those of us who don't have the opportunity for a studio yet, you know, you got to wear a lot of hats, and Mother Nature isn't always our friend. So just having open communication with your clients and, you know, watching you grow and, you know, your constant communication with your clients as well, and also just being hungry for feedback. You know, how can this class be better? Or now you're offering virtual classes as well that I take advantage of every week because I live, you know, 45 minutes from here. So just the opportunity to learn about yourself and what your clients need, you see it every week. So with your classes, so just tailoring your business. I've seen so much growth in you since you started too, and it's just been so much fun to be a part of it, not only as a fellow business owner, but as a client of yours also.
Yes, ditto. So I love that you had mentioned like you wear so many hats, because the next thing I want you to talk to us about is like after the photo shoot. So on the other side of things, we're just waiting for that email to come through.
Right.
Like, our pictures are ready. We
Right.
can't wait to see them. But tell us, like, okay, it's after the photo shoot, all the work that goes into getting that email sent out to your client.
Right. So, I mean, whether it's a mini session or, you know, my biggest package, I'm just as excited to see the photos in their final edit just as much as you are. I can 110% promise you that. But just taking an opportunity to remind yourself that, you know, we're people too. Behind the camera, we're people too. So, I mean, we're always appreciative of clients reaching out saying, hey, how's the photos coming along? We understand, and we're just as excited as you. But just as just a PSA, just remember we're people too. We have families, we have full-time jobs, we have responsibilities, so please take it easy on us. We promise to get your photos to you in the best possible version as possible. But you know, there's hours of fine-tuning, you know, your images. Maybe it's not the full edit itself, but taking cars out of the distance, or like we talked about earlier, maybe it was a tree that just grew a little wonky. We clean those things up that draw the attention away from the subject itself, whether it's a couple, whether it's a family, whether it's a wedding. No detail is too small when it comes to photography, and sometimes I feel like I'm going a little crazy because, you know, my eyes get drawn to the strangest things, but again, putting yourself in their shoes is really what gets me to produce the final product in its best possible version, because if I'm a client and I see something that's a little off, or I wouldn't have left that there, I wouldn't want my photographer to do that to me, so why would I do that to somebody else? You know, in elementary school, we're taught, you know, treat others the way you want to be treated, and I do that with my business also, you know, not only personally, but professionally too.
Yeah, and it shows, Becky, like, honestly, there's things that, you know, you have, like, concerns that I had. Hey, you know, how does this look in the photo? You walked me through it, or hey, we could take that out. I had no idea you can do a half of the stuff that you could do to a photo, but you have given me so much comfort, just like in the moment when I have questions about things.
Right.
But to know that you have my back with my pictures, whether
100%.
I see something or not, you're going to see it, and you're going to fix it, and you're going to make it look the best version that it can be before you send it out for me to share to my community.
Yep. And I mean, even if it's a hair that's blowing in the wind, like, don't worry about it. You know, if you have a pimple or a zit that pops up on your forehead the morning of, don't worry about it. You know, I got you, because those are things that I would want my photographer to do for me. So why wouldn't I take that extra step to, you know, give you the best product and the best service possible?
Yeah.
So, you know, not only are we producing a product, but we're providing a service to our clients also. So just taking that extra step, it'll take a little bit more time. So again, please, everyone, be patient with your photographer, but yeah, just go above and beyond.
Yeah. That just, I mean, just you voicing that speaks volumes about who you are, the work that you're putting out there, and honestly, like, we all want to work with someone that's going to care and give us exactly what we're visioning with what we're trying, whether it's family photos, a wedding, business photos, it doesn't matter. Like, it's so refreshing to hear, like, I'm educated, I know what I'm doing, and I've got you. So that's huge.
And I mean, sometimes they're like, I sit down at my computer and like, how the heck am I going to get rid of that huge car back there? You know, but I use the tools and the resources and the education, you know, that I provided for myself, that, you know, I may say that your photos will be to you in your email by 6 p.m. on Friday, and then it's 5:59, and I'm like, I'm not anywhere close to being done. So just, again, having that open communication with your clients is like, I know that I promised photos to you tonight, but it may be Sunday before I can get it to you, because there's a few things that I need to perfect and fix before I get it back to you. Because I don't want my clients to see, you know, the raw images The lighting, horrible. There's stuff in the background that should not be there. There's crazy hairs, or there's pimples, or there's wrinkles in your shirt, whatever it is. I want my clients to have the best, experience with me. So if it takes a little bit longer, I promise it's coming to you.
Yes, and I just want to kind of like backpedal a little bit with everything that you just mentioned there. Guys, there's so much work that goes into a session like this, whether, it's a personal session or on the business side of things. And we forget that, when we're paying for our pictures, it's just not the hour you're with us.
Exactly.
There's so much time afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that you offer that payment plan to make this as affordable as possible, and that you keep showing up with excellent work and character and a product that means so much, like you've truly created something affordable and something beautiful within your work. And I just want to give you just so much praise for that, because it's really hard to how disheartening is it to like show up and have this expectation, and then you're let down because you've invested money into something with someone that isn't showing heart in what you're doing as a client.
Sure.
So tell us a little bit about that. Like,
Sure.
I'm sure that you've had situations where people are just coming to you freaked out from a bad experience.
Yeah, and really, again, communication. So maybe they had a bad experience with another photographer. Okay, let's sit down. You don't have to tell me who it is. It's not my business anyway. But sit down, talk with me. What happened? From start to finish, what happened? And, problems with other photographers can be happening for a variety of different reasons. Again, it's none of my business. But if it was something as simple as checking in the morning of and just saying, hey, we're still on for tonight, right? That's showing that the photographer is aware that you're on the schedule. Maybe it's the kids' nap times and maybe they had just fallen asleep. That's okay. If we need to push it a half hour so they can get a little bit more rest, that's fine. I try to tailor my services before we even turn on the camera, to my clients. So with respect to my own life and my own schedule as well. But you have to be just a human being.
Yeah.
Before anything, before you're a photographer, before you're a girlfriend, a wife, a mom, you just have to remember that you're a human being too. You make mistakes, and sometimes it's hard. But I just, more than anything, from that first message popping up, first of all, I do a little happy dance, I'll be the first to admit, but, just hearing them out and saying, okay, well, I'm sorry that happened. Let's talk about it. And what do you expect from me? So moving forward, do you want me to message you every day? Do you want me to not talk to you again until the morning of? How do you want to move forward? And how can I relieve any tension that you have? So, like I said, it's awkward to be in front of a camera. So I'm saying, Ashley, it's okay. We're gonna have props. We're gonna have different poses. I will give you different posing ideas, or just I'll show you the Pinterest board of things that I thought would be cute for you and would bring out your personality. Because we had so much fun during your shoot.
Oh, we totally had so much fun, yes.
So, because you provide so many different services that we were able to tailor each of those services, we were able to tailor to them with different editing, with using models, different outfits, things like that. So, just no question's a dumb question. So if it's simple as, do you have a discount for this? Or what's your mileage, or your mileage fee, or do you have availability on this day? Regardless if you move forward with a photographer or not, maybe you found somebody else that was a little bit more in your budget or closer to home, or it was a family friend, please have that communication with your photographer that, hey, I found someone local to me, or my sister's going to take the pictures. Please don't leave your photographer hanging, because that's something, we feel like we're bothering you if we check in with you a week later. So just communication, communication, communication.
Yes. So running a small business isn't easy. We both know that, and we're both doing this part-time,
Yep.
as a side gig. So I think people will appreciate hearing everything that you truly are doing to produce the best product possible, because like you said, we're trying to balance life and work and a part-time business and plus take care of your client all
Right.
at the same time.
Right.
So I think people just will appreciate you taking the time to explain all that, because there's so much that goes into a photo session, whether, like I said, it's family wedding or business or even something else, engagement pictures, couple
Absolutely.
pictures, stuff like that.
Absolutely. And something, that I've opened my books to this year is weddings. I did a photo coverage for a wedding years and years ago, and I learned a lot. The couple was great, but I needed to take a step back because it wasn't just something you can schedule and go to it. There's a lot of preparation that goes into it. So over these last few years, really understanding the industry, understanding the trends, and just knowing how to communicate with a couple. This isn't photos you can recreate later in life. Or if it's a rainy day, we can reschedule. You can't reschedule your wedding.
Right.
So I just really value just transparency. Maybe a couple is looking for a more experienced photographer. I understand. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Would I love to work with you? Absolutely. But I understand that you want a more seasoned photographer, and that's okay. And here's my recommendations. But if you're willing to trust into somebody that's new to it, or getting reborn to it, I guess you could say, I'll be transparent, saying, I don't have any example photos to show you with my recent editing style, but if you trust me, we have your wedding next year, I'll show you the wedding photos that I took for the weddings this year. So, and the couples have been giving me such great feedback of like, this is what I expect from you, this is what I hope we can capture, and again, just being transparent. And once I'm in more season, then I can have those more confident conversations. But right now, just telling my clients or my couples, hey, I don't have any wedding photos to show you, but if you trust me, I promise I'll go above and beyond. And they've really received that well. So I could not be any more thankful for them. So I'm just excited to just be part of the biggest and happiest day of their lives.
So, with that being said, your calendar fills up so quickly.
Yes.
So quickly. Like,
Yes.
I'm booking 3 to 4 months in advance
Yes.
just to make sure that, I can get my sessions in.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned, picking up weddings and things like that. So,
Yep.
what does this wedding season look like for you?
So I have 2 weddings in just a couple weeks, and they're about 2 weeks apart from each other. So I just love to hit the ground running. So I love to be able to just receive a message like, hey, we'd love for you to cover our wedding. These are couples I have never met before. Maybe they were recommended to me by a family that I did capture years and years ago. Or maybe it's somebody that's just found me on social media, thought that, my pricing was fair, and they want to talk to me. Okay, let's schedule a Zoom. So we talk, we answer those questions, I provide, even the smallest of details that can kind of ease their mind. Hey, if you have a hair out of place, don't worry about it. If the flower girl is crying in the corner, it's okay. We'll figure it out. This is something we can figure out together. So, or if Uncle Jim is in the way, you need him out of the picture. Excuse me, Uncle Jim, we need you to get you the heck out of the way. So, just again, having that conversation of expectations for me. I've got 2 weddings for this year, 2 weddings for next year, and hopefully more to come.
That's
so
awesome.
Stay
Good
tuned.
Yes,
Stay tuned.
good for you. Okay, so you're doing so well, but where do you see Forever Snapshots going in the future, and what is next for Beckie?
Yes, so I am kind of taking the leap away from full-time marketing, and this is something I have released on socials, but my clients have been so wonderful. I'm working part-time, I own my business part-time, and I'm going back to school. So I think God put me on this earth to really help and to serve people, and what better way to do that than in the healthcare industry. So, this is something that I'm learning as we go, and my clients are the same way. So my schedule is really limited over the next 2 years as I go back to school. So not only will I become a registered radiologic technologist, but I'll be hopefully a full-time photographer as well. So just finding that balance has not been easy. I will be the first to admit. And also just knowing that burnout is a thing, and it happens to all of us. There's nothing to be ashamed about. I've taken time away from Forever Snapshots, and it was about 2 years or so before I really got the faith to do it again, the confidence to do it again, and the energy. It happens to all of us creatives and all of us small business owners. So I think taking time away was really powerful for me. And, I, over the last few years, I found, that it's okay to take time for yourself. And Soul Shine was that opportunity for me to have at least an hour a week to myself where, I could practice, my yoga journey. And so that was just a small part of my week that it became a routine where I can be like, okay, no clients need anything from me right now. My work doesn't need anything from me. And I can just be myself. So I'm thankful for what you do as not only a fellow business owner, but as a client of yours, whether it's I'm taking nutrition classes with you, whether it's yoga, Pilates, all the things, that it's okay to take a step back before you launch yourself forward. And as far as like what's next for me is these weddings are my next step as of, what's happening right now. But, every client inquiry that comes in my email or my messenger, I'm just excited to create something new with that person. So no two clients are the same, no 2 days are the same, no 2 sessions are the same. So just continuing to learn and to grow with each client, that's all I ask, and that's all I'm thankful for. And I make the joke with my family that I have a session on Friday, I edit them, I send them out to the client, and I send them to my family group chat. I'm like, guys, these are the best photos I have ever taken. A week and a half later, I have another session. I text the family group chat, guys, no, these are the best. These are the best photos that I've taken. So it's just I'm continuing to grow and to learn and to communicate too. It's hard to do that sometimes. So I couldn't be more thankful for how much I've grown and how much I will continue to grow.
Yeah. Well, I just want to acknowledge how incredibly brave it is of you to say, like, burnout is a thing. It's a real thing. I have dealt with it, and I'm still doing all the things because I allowed that time for myself. I was listening to what my mind needed, my body needed, and just being true to yourself. And you're on the other side of things now because you are allowing yourself that, even if it's like you said, 1 hour a week of self-care, you're showing up as a better Beckie, as a better photographer, a better daughter, all the things. So I think I just want to acknowledge how brave it is that you mentioned that, because it truly is a real thing. And you're doing a lot of things. You're working, you're going back to school, you're a business owner, you're very family oriented. Like you take care, like you said, you are a caregiver. You are definitely, you were put on this earth to help others, and you are, whether you know it or not, like you truly are.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
It was definitely a hard decision, but I think I've grown and learned a lot about myself, and I can only show up better for my clients and for myself now.
Yeah.
So it was hard, but I promise any of you that are going through it also, there is light at the end of the tunnel. I can promise you that.
Yes. Well, that is such solid advice, and we're going to get ready to wrap things up. But for anyone who's listening, Becky, can you share your social media platforms with us in case there's anyone out there that's just dying to follow or book?
Of course, of course. So you can follow me on Facebook, Forever Snapshots LLC, or Instagram and TikTok is just Forever Snapshots. You know, and you can follow along to, you know, see my growth, see my clients, and also just the crazy stuff that I say yes to. So.
Well, guys, I can just again tell you, I will always share with you how wonderful Becky is, not just as a person, but truly in her work. She has truly captured so many beautiful moments with our family, and she's also helping me grow Soul Shine in a way that feels true to me and what I want to put out there for my community to see.
Absolutely.
So Becky, thank you. Thank you so much for being here, for sharing your story.
Thank you.
And just for pouring your heart out today. My goodness, you are just such a wonderful person, and I'm just so honored to have you here and to have this conversation with you here today.
I'm so thankful too, and I know we've talked a lot about my business and all that I do, but I don't want to, you know, silence the work that you do either. You know, you've been a wonderful part of, you know, our family and, you know, your support, and you're just such a warm light of a person. That's the best way that I can describe to you, to anyone who doesn't know. So if anybody's on Facebook or social media is asking, where can I just take time for myself? Soul Shine Yoga. Like, talk to Ashley Way immediately. So just, you're such a wonderful, just wholesome, genuine person, and I couldn't do this without you.
Oh, well, thank you. Ditto. I just love you. I love supporting you. I love being able to watch you grow and all the wonderful things that you're doing. So, guys, we can go on and on about how much we love each other.
We'll be here for hours.
We'll be here for hours. But all jokes aside, please, if you're not already, give Becky a follow on Facebook, Instagram. Check out her website. She has a beautiful gallery of just so much of her work on there. It's truly just a beautiful space that she's created with her heart and her work. So please check it out. Yes, you are so welcome. But we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for supporting both Becky and I today. And just thank you, Becky, for being a part of this beautiful community and just for sharing your beautiful skills and talents. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste.